Hello there, good evening. It's Tuesday and it's 8:30 p.m., which means it's time for us to bring you the hot burning issues that are affecting this particular country and speak to the stakeholders that are involved to try to get a sense of where the country is headed as far as those issues are concerned. The program is State of Affairs. My name is Patrick Stevenson and I'm sitting in for your regular host, Nana Abba Anamwa. When I come back from this short breather, we'll talk about the topic we have discussing this evening, and then I'll tell you who my guests are and we'll start the conversation. Now, if you have been paying attention to developments in the country, at least this week, or maybe from last week, from the weekend or last week Friday through the weekend till today, you'd recognize that there's a lot that's been happening in the educational sector, particularly tertiary education coming in from Kumasi, specifically Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. And we understand today that those developments have led to the closure of the university because it's been alleged or confirmed, if you like, that some students have misbehaved, as they call them, and that has led to the Regional Security Council, the Ministry of Education, the university authorities themselves come to a conclusion that Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology should be closed down. Tonight, we are unpacking all of the issues in there to understand exactly what students can do or what the authorities and what government indeed can do going forward. And so that's a conversation we're having tonight. And the program is ably brought to you by MTN. MTN, everywhere you go, they make it possible for us to have these kinds of conversations here on GH1 Television, State of Affairs specifically. My guest tonight, two very dynamic gentlemen. The first person is Dr. Kweku Agbesi. He is the Global Vice President of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology Old Students or Alumni Association, if you like. And close to him, we have Frank Amwakohene. He's a co-chair and the National Union of Ghana Students President. They join us to help understand and unpack the issues regarding Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. You can join the conversation by sharing your insights, questions, and comments on our various social media handles at GH1 Television with the hashtag State of Affairs, and your comments will be picked up and we'll read them. If there are questions, we'll try as much as possible to get you answers. I'm going to start off with you, Frank, because you are with the Ghana National Union of Ghana Students.
Absolutely.
And well, before we even get to that part of the conversation, I understand as far as the developments for this particular case is concerned, well, an emergency meeting has been held today by some high-powered delegation that was sent by government to the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and some resolutions have come out of that. We're not too sure what it looks like, but let's listen to the Minister for Information Designate, Kojo Nkrumah, from that particular conversation, and then we'll have a discussion in studio off the back of that.
Engaging with various stakeholders, the university authorities, council representatives, student representatives, to understand what has happened. You know that ordinarily the university is semi-autonomous and they handle their own affairs. But it's become obvious that these matters have not been contained at that level, and so now there's a need for high-level intervention. So we have finished our first level consultations. We are going to the campus also to see and engage for ourselves, and then we'll report to the president, and once clear decisions are made, we'll announce to the country.
And so that's the Minister for Information Designate, Mr. Kojo Nkrumah, giving us some feedback from that particular meeting, and it doesn't look as though as something critical or something, if you like, that we can work with. That's come out of that. It indicates that clearly this has gone beyond, the university's management. We're not too sure what that means, but I'm sure the gentleman we have in studio will help us understand that. Frank, I was going to start off with you.
Great.
You are with the National Union of Ghana Students. Clearly, this falls within your remit. As a body that is supposed to superintend over, the issues that affect students at the tertiary level and indeed the country at large. First of all, what do you make of the development that's coming out of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology now?
Great, Patrick. A very good evening to you, and a very good evening to all viewers. As I keep saying, the weekend has been horrible. Very sad and unfortunate developments all the way from Friday to yesterday. And I keep saying that all the occurrences were avoidable. However, management, government, stakeholders failed to act because the signs were too clear on the wall. Just that we were too difficult to deal with. And you see, in dealing with students, even if it is the right thing, the student must have conviction as to why we need to move in this particular direction at this particular time.
Has the National Union of Ghana Students been able to speak to, the immediate representation of stakeholders in this matter, i.e., the Student Representative Council of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, or indeed the management of any of that group? And what is your position on that particular matter?
Absolutely, we've had a lot of consultations and discussions with these stakeholders, and especially with the SRC that falls directly under us, because in any case, they are the reason for which we exist. And we've had those discussions. Yes, most of them, especially the discussions with management, I can't put on air as we speak now, because most of them, the discussions we had in confidence, and I mean it was a classified information.
Yeah, but I know you can't put the discussions on air, but you can tell us at least what they signal, what they appear to indicate.
Absolutely. So I would first start with that of the SRC. These issues started some months back when the discussion on the conversion of the halls actually began. And it so happened that management was much more comfortable feeling that all the issues were resolved, because after the conversion, security arrangements turned all around, where students were being treated as, excuse me to say, SHS students. In fact, they are at the tertiary level.
What is wrong with being treated as HSS?
At the tertiary level, we are adults as a youth, and at that stage, you don't expect to be treated as you don't know what it takes to make a decision.
Yeah, but your reactions after the way you've been treated does not show you're adult. Because if you're an adult, you shouldn't behave that way.
I would get there.
Right.
So, as tertiary students, we feel that every decision that must come from management should have our voices heard. It wouldn't be like management has taken an entrenched position and they want to move in that direction no matter who has a reservation or who has not. So now, that conversion turned the face of security on campus around. More treatment on students, what have you, leading up to the immediate cause which actually occurred on Friday. That was the brutality on one student who had an injury at the head and other 11 students who were arrested. After that occurrence, we actually had a discussion on the matter and added to other developments over the period that we need to move into registering our displeasure as to the way and manner students have been treated on the campus. So we agreed on a peaceful, underlined word, a peaceful protest to petition the council and management of the university that the safety of students cannot be guaranteed under the current regime we found ourselves. So that protest was supposed to have been a very peaceful protest. Unfortunately, that morning, they pulled down security, warning shots here and there. And you see, when you oppress someone for a very long time, it's like being a father and restraining your kid for a very long time. I mean, there'll be an outburst.
I want you to hold your thoughts there, because I do recall the quotes of John F. Kennedy, who said that if you make non-violent protests difficult for people, well, then the violent one almost becomes inevitable. But let me come to you, Dr. Agbesi. You are the Vice President of the Alumni Association of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Clearly, you've been out of the fray for a very long time as far as dealing with the university management is concerned. Is that assumption right?
No, that's not it.
That's not right. Okay. So my question to you then will be, you've heard the chronology of events, and from Frank here, who's the president of the National Union of Ghana Students, and how, in your time, how are you dealing with university management regarding issues like this? And there are allegations that somehow some old students of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology were part of, instigated or supported this. How true is that?
Thank you. Let me make this clarification before I answer your question. Various media have been classifying the alumni of the University Hall and Unity Hall as the Alumni Association. There is a difference.
Okay.
The larger group is the Alumni Association. So the allegation, the alleged involvement of the alumni in on the demonstration on campus is being referred to the alumni of University Hall, which I do not have any evidence as of now to support that. Let me say that what happened on campus yesterday was very regrettable. We were taken aback. We felt it shouldn't have happened, and the student should have exercised a bit of restraint. We understand their sentiment, and as you said at our time, how were we dealing with the university authority? It was more about dialogue, engagement, and once a while peaceful demonstration when we are not getting a common understanding. Even that, we come back to the table and then Jojo and then have a common understanding, and that's how we were treated.
And you got results out of that?
We got results. We got results. I can't remember one time that we went on demonstration that we had 100% results or even 20% results. We will come back to the table, Jojo, and then we reach an amicable agreement, and then
there's a report that our Kumasi correspondents, I'm talking GH1 television, put together for us, which almost, chronicled the series of events, some of which Frankie has touched on. And this looked almost like a boiling plate, because to the extent that students were brutalized and somehow, you didn't get maybe a statement coming from the university or maybe the dean of students or whatever it is. Don't you think that maybe that's a very unique and peculiar case that could have triggered, the destruction you saw from the students yesterday?
You see, I think from Saturday, these issues started coming up on social media. People were alleging about the brutalities, then things were not clear. We decided to start investigating to find a fact, confirm that or not as I sit here. The students on the other part were saying that they did not provoke the security men, they just came and started beating them. So as of now, we believe that let's do more of the investigation, let's find out what really happened. We believe the university authorities, they have the students at heart. They want to create a conducive environment for them to learn. The students also believe that they have the right to be heard. They also believe that they should be given opportunity to have non-academic life on campus very well, so that it's not be seen like they are being pushed to obey rules that they think is not to their advantage. And I think there's the perspective we as an association is looking at the problem on campus.
But are you engaged in any way by the university in terms of, its own management, the management of the school? And in issues like this one, what's the level of engagement between the Alumni Association, the university and students in terms of finding an amicable solution that works for everybody? Are you engaged?
Yes. We are very, very engaged. As you know, at the university council level, we are represented. The students are represented on council. That's where most of the decisions are taken. But what we have realized is that at that level, what level of engagement do we have with the whole student body before we go into implementation? Those are the areas that we need to look at. As an association, we regularly engage the university authorities. At our council meetings, we invite the university to come and brief us about the going-ons on campus. We also, at the end of every year, get on campus, engage the students, engage the university management, the faculty members. So in terms of engagement, we have been doing it. Last year, we met the student leadership with the dean of students to get some of their problems. There are some hidden problems that are not public now, which over the years we have tried to have an engagement with the university authority to bring tensions down.
To resolve something. Yeah. but here's $1 million question. So if you take any committee, that is supposed to adjudicate any matter or, superintend over the administration of any part of the university, somebody would argue that you have maybe 50,000 people in total, including faculty, at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Majority of which, if we are not wrong, maybe even 90% of that could be students. If that is the case, you have cases where, around the table of negotiation and discussions, where you formulate ideas and implement policies, you either have only one person, the SRC president,
absolutely,
or the GRASAC president who sits there with a bunch of professors around the table who are either faculty or part of management, and they have to vote on certain decisions. Even if the decision is not one that the broader student body will be, excited about or will feel it represents their interests, it's going to be voted against, and the SRC president is toothless. At the end of the day, we come back to square one, like where we are now, no?
Yeah, unfortunately, that is the system.
That's the reality.
Yeah, the reality and the system we have now. I know the university is working on a new statute.
Okay.
Students were given opportunity, all stakeholders were given opportunity to make input into the university review statute, and I believe some of these issues might be addressed. But coming to the bigger issues, I believe at a point of even decisions having been taken, what kind of engagement do we have with the general student body? I remember at our time, any issues will start from the JCR level. We SRS will come and get involved. Alternatively, when the decisions have also been taken at the management level, they come back to us. We discuss it, and when we disagree, we come out with a paper and narrating our issues with the policy or any other issue that they want to implement on campus. We believe we need to engage.
So you had a much more structured method, a mechanism for engaging the university.
Yes.
Which will include, of course, peaceful demonstrations. I'm going to come to you, Frank. So some of the issues that have, the preliminary incidents that have led to the milieu we find ourselves, some we understand started from February this year. What's NUGS in the known of these, and what did NUGS do to support the SRC of KNUST? What did NUGS do to engage the management of KNUST? What did NUGS do to engage the Ghana Education Service, the Ministry of Education, to communicate the constraints that the students in Unity Hall and the University Hall were confronted with?
Great, thank you very much. One, when the issue came up and our attention was drawn as NUGS, we needed to engage the SRC to understand what their plights really are, so we would be able to engage management. Through the SRC, we have written severally to management, which they are yet to reply. That is on record.
Can you share some of those insights with us? What issues did you write to management about?
One, through the SRC, we petitioned the council that we have to have a renegotiation on the remote course. That is the review of the Katanga, the changing of the Katanga to a mixed hall.
Okay.
Now,
did you get any response to that?
As of now.
Okay.
About 3 letters that went through the SRC to management saw no response. The matter was dragged to the High Court in Kumasi, and unfortunately we didn't get a favorable, that's to us, a favorable judgment. And you know what happened? The leaders who were in charge of the process from Katanga, Unity, they were rusticated. And level 100s have been appointed by management to take charge of the JCR of the institution. Subsequent to this, we had to petition Otunfo, we had to petition the management again. But anytime you send the letters, they don't get. So these are cascade of events. So clearly, the non-violent approach actually failed.
So hold your thoughts for me. So you're saying that the university management stepped in to practically run the JCRs. And I understand your JCRs have constitutions.
Good.
Do the constitutions of the junior common rooms make room for the university to step them aside, kick them aside?
Absolutely out of order.
They don't.
They don't. Absolutely. So you see, this is to make a point that we've been able to harbor a lot of injustice. This is the first time you are probably hearing of this, but it's been an occurrence on the campus. So if I talk about oppression, typical oppression in the 21st century, this is what we were experiencing under this current management.
Frank Abagohene, I want you to hold your thoughts. I'll take a break here, and then when I come back, we'll try to unpack some of the issues he has just touched on. The oppression of students classified as, adults for that matter. We'll try to unpack some of those issues when we come back from this break.
In real life, there's no buffering. So why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to the home from MTN. MTN Home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband from the Internet Masters.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Enton many pa wunya mfie dumwoche ensesa pemfo num ewo drinking spots bia
And don't go bitters edemufua.
With so many high-quality paints and colors, choice can sometimes be tricky.
Hey, what's happening here?
It's white. Our room should be pink. Our room should be blue. Pink should be blue. Pink, blue, pink, blue. How about both colors?
With Azar's high-quality paints that last long and give great finish every time, you can color your world with a smile. PremiumBeat.com. Azar, #1.
Food supplement.
Madam, I want Prosecure Herbal Tea. What is this? I said I want Prosecure Herbal Tea, not capsule.
This is also good for urinary problem. Okay, please don't go. I have some.
Supplement to improve urine flow.
Do not let anyone deceive you. There's nothing like Prosecure capsule. It is Prosecure Herbal Tea. Just boil it and drink it. That's all.
Prostacure from Medimosis Prostate Center is a well-formulated food supplement acclaimed worldwide to improve urine flow. Now available at all pharmacies, filling station shops, and shopping centers nationwide. Contact the Tema, Accra, and Kumasi branches with the numbers on your screen. Visit our new ultra-modern diagnostic center at Twazako Valley, opposite the Westgate.
Prostacure food supplement improves urine flow in men.
K20, K20, in the bar or in the party. K20, K20, in the funeral or any other gathering. The burning sensation, I touch them up. K20 whiskey, who track a crack will do my K20 whiskey. What I started to Batulu, where you K20 whiskey, K20 whiskey. Hey, yeah, K20. And go on there for fufu. Yes, my papa, and no. Opa makes it, Opa no mess anything they go, yeah. K20, in the bar, or in the party. K20, in the funeral or any other gathering.
K20 whiskey, the burning sensation at the Chamape. No Mwanyansem, one ton more Biarundi in Fidwa Watche, on your map painful.
Welcome back from that break. The program is State of Affairs here on G2 Television. I'm your host, Patrick Stevenson, sitting in for your regular host, Nanaba Anamwa. And the conversation we're having tonight has got to do with the developments coming out of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology and the fact that a decision has been reached for the university to be shut down or closed, pending further conclusions that are going to be arrived at on working an amicable solution going forward. But some of you have been following the conversation on our various social media handles. I've shared some comments. I'm going to take 3 of these comments and then we'll continue with this conversation in studio. Now there is Asare Boating on Facebook who says, I can't believe the management of a university like KNUST in this era think they can suppress students with the power they have. It is also happening at UEW, and I suspect that is University of Education, Winneba. And I know if something is not done, similar incidents could happen there too. The students engaged in such an act in 2017, but it was not to this extent. So probably the reportage was not huge as in the case of KNUST. The authorities usually take decisions that do not favor the students, but rather one that will favor them. You go on to say that they should always realize that the size of the student population is so huge that the students are major stakeholders and can't avoid them in decision making. Well, that's from you, and we hope if there's anything like this happening in UEW, the students ought to take note that destroying school property is not a way to go about it. At least we have learned that from Dr. Kweku Agbesi here in studio. There's Haruna Akolugo Bukari who says, I think the university authority should reverse their decision of converting Katanga and Unity halls from single sex to mixed sex. If the school is to increase female enrollment, more hostels should be provided rather than making replacements to deny male students. That's from you. And then we have Enoch Walasi, I believe, who says, I think both parties involved did not do the right thing in a sense that after the student was beaten up by security man, the authorities should have addressed the students to keep their heads cool, and also the students shouldn't have taken the law into their own hands. So let's just hope everything goes well for our brothers and sisters to go back to school. So those are some of the comments. If you're watching us on our various social media handles, you can equally share your views. If you have any questions, you can share them as well, and we'll be happy to take them. But the program is ably brought to you by MTN. MTN, everywhere you go. Talking about everywhere you go. Frank, so you were, before I went on break, you were indicating that there's been a series of things that even as a body of the National Union of Ghana Students, you had tried to get the reaction of the university and work out a solution. Do you feel, honestly, that the management of our universities, and I'm saying this, I'm generalizing this now because of what somebody appears to be saying is equally happening in UEW. First of all, have you heard anything like that? And
yeah, absolutely.
You've heard that
yes,
as a president of Students Union.
I've
okay,
heard that,
so do you feel that the university authorities are not willing to listen to the representatives that the students elect in terms of administration of the universities? Do you get the feeling as a president of the Students' Union?
Absolutely. It is worrying because, you see, these issues keep happening over the years. And usually the local SRCs, for fear of victimization, usually sit on them. So they don't get to let external unions like NUCS or USAC get to hear of them. University of Ghana was actually planning for a demonstration this week but for the incidents at KNUST. That is one thing.
What is their issue?
They have an issue with their shuttle system, where management wants to increase the fee, but SRC feels it will be much of a burden on the students. The SRC could go into a negotiation with a transport agency that could provide services at a lower cost, but management is resisting for them to bring in that option. However, they are equally resisting the reduction of the shuttle fee. So this is another issue that
and that's a hot plate.
Yes.
Have you engaged the university management?
Absolutely. The current SRC president is my classmate at the University of Ghana Medical School. So we have a lot of conversation on these issues. Equally at EEW, you see, they have serious challenges with oppression and some of these things. And you see, it is because, one, the society is changing. The campus dynamics is changing. Even the way at which we approach issues as youth is changing over the period. And we have gotten to a time where our voices must be heard, irrespective of whoever is in charge. You made a very critical point, which I would have suggested as a way moving forward, which is a review as to our representation on boards, councils, and what have you. You see, if you are the only person on council can be that intimidating that, I mean, standing in front of a professor or your lecturers to insist that this is not the way to go may be difficult for you, especially knowing that your result script may end up in their hands. So you see, our representation on such boards shouldn't be left on the neck of only one person. So that calls for a review in ensuring that we have at least...
What would you say to somebody who suggests that the conduct of students themselves does not it does not make, it's not comfortable enough to say that let's give them too much power, so much power to make decisions? I mean, because if you are upset at certain decisions that have been taken by the management of KNUST, for example, in this case, and the only alternative for you was to go and vandalize property, that is a responsibility in itself. What happened to, for example, suggesting that, okay, security people have brutalized us, university has not listened to us, we're going to court on our own. We're a country of laws. But you decided to destroy property. Why should we give you more representation?
Great. As I indicated earlier on, that vandalism was unfortunate. And it wasn't actually...
Yeah, but it shows your sense of immaturity as students.
It wasn't actually a planned event. Again, as I indicated, we had endured for far too long. Though it is not a justification for the occurrences, but I mean, it is typical of every human. It is human to err. So it is typical of every human society. So that shouldn't be a yardstick for which reason we would deny the various reforms that is needed for our progress. And you see, this had occurred already. And moving forward, if we want to actually avert some of these and prevent its subsequent occurrences, we need to ensure that there are reforms. And trust me, if we have enough representation and know that we can make a case at every board or every council, enough as students, I am sure that whatever decision that comes from council wouldn't be the burden of only one person to explain to the entire student community.
Hold your thoughts for me. Now, Dr. Agbesi, so you have indicated the fact that there's some reforms or reviews going to happen to the statute of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, something in the pipelines. However, the developments we have just seen appear to be something, if what Frank is saying is anything to go by, which is Okere UEW, there's a hot plate in Legon as well. Do you get a sense that there is a father-son relationship between the management of universities and the students, to the extent that they are not prepared to see them as individuals that intellectually can sit around the table and contribute to decisions that the universities ought to make in terms of the administration? Do you get a sense of that?
Yeah, I get that sense from the SRC of KNUST press release that came out today. You could summarize that their concerns are, the major concern is that they are being treated, in quotes, as a small boys and girls. And they think, the university management think they are young and those kind of things, so they are not engaging them and those kind of... I think we have gotten to a point we need to really look at the management and student relationship. I'm not believing that getting more students on boards and council necessarily
changes anything.
Okay. We could still get 3, and then the majority will still have
vote against
vote and get their whatever they want. I think we need to really look at it because the dynamics are changing. The environment that I had when I was in KNUST is not the same now. I was telling my people today that I entered KNUST at the age of 21, but then you could see the average age 23. By now, 16, 17, much more age 18. They are all on campus now as university students. But we need to redefine how we will interact with these students, how we will engage them, how we will let them feel involved in the decision making.
Do you think that the management they need, because they are the people that obviously are leading the charge? You think we should get to a point where the management, need to be taken through some CPD, continuous professional development, to understand the psychology of the students they're dealing with, now some form of a reform on that score?
I think we need to do for
both sides of the equation.
Yes, and that's where my worries come. It looks like we are all looking at the university management. Definitely, there might be problems with also.
Dr. Agbesi, everything rises and falls on leadership. Everything rises and falls on the table of leadership.
But
so all of this and the conversation we're having this evening, somebody would argue, could have been averted if leadership had the foresight, to get to where it's getting to. And I can use, the example of Legon, for example, when we were there, Professor Anastaite at the time, and even CMB Tego. There were problems, there were difficulties, for those of us that were in Commonwealth Hall. And somehow they always found a way of diffusing the situations, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel that the management of KNUST found a way to diffuse the situation. I think they provided a fuel for it.
I think, as I said earlier, as of now, we don't have the full
facts of the case. That's agreed.
So we need to hold on for now and take opportunity of the situation that we find ourselves in and find a lasting solution to the problem. From what I know, the kind of things that we are discussing now is the symptoms. They are the symptoms of the problem. So let's take opportunity of this situation and see how best we can come together. All the various stakeholders come together. Let's redefine the way we manage students on campus, management style of the various university management team.
Somebody argues, and I think we saw that in one of our reports here, GH1 TV, that the autocratic nature of the management of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology is primarily to be blamed. In fact, they underscore that is the cause of the problem that we are currently confronted with. You're on council. Do you agree as an alumni association that a greater part of the cause of what we are currently confronted with is a management problem?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not on council.
No, you are. I mean the alumni body.
But these are one of the allegations flying around that due to the kind of leadership style of the VC, that's why we're having this problem. I cannot confirm that. So as I said, as an association, we have itemized all these allegations and we are investigating through our engagement with the various stakeholders so that we can come out with the true facts. Until we do that and we start building on this kind of allegations coming here and there, we would rather worsen the situation. And I think we are not yet there. Let's cool down, let's calm down, and then go through the process, the natural. I believe for 3 days to come, you all cool down, you all come back to the drawing table, have discussions, and I believe things will be better.
The solution that is currently being worked, which is something coming out of the emergency meeting that was had today, is the Alumni Association involved in that? I mean, are you engaged in any way in working towards that solution?
From what I know now, we're not part of the meeting today.
Okay. Anyway, I'll take another break, and when I come back, we'll try to, look forward exactly what ought to be done. Because as we understand, there are lots of hot plates in our tertiary educational institutions, and this cannot be happening. Lives and properties at stake. We'll come back with more.
His family. He works hard to take care of them. So if Fia, his young daughter, can become the doctor she's always dreamt of, and Akosia, his lovely wife, can open the nursery school she talks about all the time, he can see a happy, relaxed retirement in the years to come. But life can get in the way of our dreams. Unable to work, how do your dreams come to pass? Don't let life's tragedies get in the way of your family's dreams. Get a life insurance policy from Star Life today. Star Life, your solid partner for life.
In this part of the world, we're up long before the sun. Part to make our world, our connections and relationships a lot more brighter. Start your day bright with MTN Kokroko. For only 1 Ghana cedi, you can enjoy 400 megabytes of data and 30 minutes of free MTN to MTN calls every day from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. everywhere you go. Dial *138# to buy the MTN Kokroko bundle now.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
K20, in the bar or in the party. K20, in the funeral or any other gathering. The burning sensation, I touch them up. K20 whiskey, we track a crack with no mind. K20 whiskey, what I started to battle, K20 whiskey, K20 whiskey. Hey, yeah, K20. I'm going there for fofo. That's my papa, and I no. Opa makes it, Opa no mess anything they go, yeah. K20, in the bar, or in the party. K20, in the funeral or any other gathering.
K20 whiskey, the burning sensation at the Chamape. No Mwanyansem, one ton more Biarundi in Fidwa Wache, on your map painful.
From my head to my toe, yeah. The moment I step in the street, everybody for no. Look sharp, yeah. See the swagger for show. Look sharp. My look and you see, say maybe so out of world.
Feco Spray Starch makes ironing easier and faster. There's no clogging, and it protects your fabric from stains. Fresh smell, big can, and you go use them, sir. See the difference. Feco Spray Starch. Look sharp.
We chabiana maniate, we chabinti maniate rough. We numbia mama umeka, manya umeka ntima ya fine. I don't go for me go, ade fine. I don't go for me go, ade fine. For me kona maniate rough, ade fine. Yedi abani nubino na ye, uchabiana ya fine. Mani baji I don't go every day no ne manum. I don't go for me go.
And too many power and fear do much. And says I pay for no. I was drinking spots beer.
And don't go bitters. A demufua.
Shed your rumor to me.
Insecticide spray and mosquito fell. And Tonton Master, a baby, you are now. She's so mad. Roma insecticide spray at that Roma. Interfre, Entatia, make a cheha. No way. Shemikuno, and Tonton Bako crown fanimo, and also a pussy. Roma insecticide spray and mosquito quell. And out there we a sham. Roma,
Roma and Tonton Master.
It's where I belong, where I feel strong. Listen, sweet sense of the streets and the avenue. Nothing out there is even comparable. I feel alive every time when I'm home, cause being with my brothers refreshes my soul.
No matter how far we travel or how famous we become, we will always be Ghanaian Star Beer.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Akoto loves his family. He works hard to take care of them. So Ifya, his young daughter, can become the doctor she's always dreamt of. And Akosia, his lovely wife, can open the nursery school she talks about all the time. He can see a happy, relaxed retirement in the years to come. But life can get in the way of our dreams. Unable to work, how do your dreams come to pass? Don't let life's tragedies get in the way of your family's dreams. Get a life insurance policy from Star Life today. Star Life, your solid partner for
You're welcome back from that break. My name is Patrick Stevenson here on the State of Affairs, looking at the developments coming out of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. And my guest in studio tonight, Frank Amoakohene. He's the co-chair of the National Union of Ghana Students. And then we have Dr. Kweku Agbaji. He's the Global Vice President for the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology Alumni Association. Gentlemen, so we have seen the problem, we have seen the pressure plates, we've seen the scale and depth of the problem that, look, if we are not careful, other campuses could equally get very hot pretty soon. Going forward, at least the KNUST case gives us some litmus test to work with. I'm going to start off with you, Doc. You have touched on some of them, but where do we go from here, given that we know that the problem exists in other areas? But before you react to that, let me take two quick comments that are coming off of social media. This is coming from Twitter. And then we have Bambi, that's the name I'm seeing here, or the handle is Brutus 717, I believe. And it says, first brutality case, no one saw. The second brutality case, no one saw. Administration glasses got broken. The whole world has seen misplaced priorities. That's what Ghanaians have. And that's your contribution to the conversation. There's Okai also on Twitter who suggests that my car was vandalized, and do you think I will take it lightly with the culprits? Hell no. I'm not sure what you mean by taking lightly, but I hope it is not what I am thinking, because we're a country of laws. Then you have Say It Right Frimpong, also on Twitter, who says, 14th century leadership demands 14th century resistance. Oh, Danso, come with one agenda. Zero. Danso came... Danso, I suspect he's talking about the Vice Chancellor, came with one agenda: to suppress students and boast about it. The distractions, though regrettable, were a necessity. For every war, there are casualties, and nothing is expensive than slavery and subjugation. That is your contribution. I find that very, very interesting, almost like a fairy tale for a war that was fought sometime in the 18th century. But clearly, these give us the impetus for looking forward. Where do we go from here?
I think this gives us an opportunity for the various stakeholders to come together. My brother is given us information that the other campuses have similar problems. And I think like the various alumni of the public university should also come together for us to come out with a strategy of engagement, where we will do more of the engagement with the students, more with the management team of the various public universities, so that their grievances can clearly be come out from the student, and then we can see our best to address the various issues that are confronting students on campus.
I think that's a very interesting submission, because I mean there's a general assumption that, well, those in the system now are not as old as, you know, the students before. So if at least you, the alumni association, can frequently meet the students to get these grievances and find a much more structured way of engaging in, I think that's a very, very important point. Frank,
Patrick,
how open is NUGS to working with bodies like, you know, the alumni associations of the various universities? How open are you? Because you have said, for instance, that you have consistently written, for instance, to the university management, and somehow you didn't get any reactions. How open are you to work with the alumni associations to ensure some of these are amicably dealt with?
Thank you very much. Before coming to that, I would want to again use this platform to call all students on all campuses to order that the KNUST incidents does not open the floodgate for us to vandalize any property or what have you. And you may not find NUGS coming to back you or any student union coming to back you. We are a very organized student body. It was only unfortunate that our planned peaceful protest went bad. So all campuses kindly do exercise restraint. Whatever the challenges are, we are willing to help you resolve it. On the cooperation and how open we are in resolving these, greatly they have walked the path we are now walking as alumni. Definitely the programs we are reading now, they have read. The kind of life we are living on campus now, they have lived. And I'm sure they may either look back with regrets or look back knowing they could have done much more better or use productive, their time for productive ventures. So we are ready to work with them. And honestly speaking, as president, I have been in touch with all the former leaders because I know it is through their efforts that I can also rise. So we are willing to cooperate with them. And especially when they come to talk to us as students, we are likely to associate and reason with them as alumni much more than management that may sit up there and talk to us as, some little tiny human beings. So we are willing to work with them, and I'm very happy that at least it's coming from such a man of high caliber so far as the alumni structure is concerned. So this greatly calls for...
I would have asked for both of you, to give me a workable plan, of a sort, regarding the KNUST campus. But clearly that's already happened. Yeah. And I know you have said that, you have emphasized that, the students across the various campuses to exercise restraint, which I think is a very important point. But Doc, so you are open to working with them.
Yeah.
But what is the posturing? And you can summarize this, with your final words on the conversation. I understand we are running out of time. What is the posturing of, the university management and the various stakeholders you work with? What is their posturing towards submissions that you are likely to make in terms of how we go forward from here? You think there's enough room for that?
I must say that we have had very, very cordial relationship with the university management team.
Okay.
A lot of things that we have discussed with them, that they have really taken our input into their policies, into their decisions. And I believe as we decide to do more of the engagement, they are willing to really give us a space to get involved into some of these issues that are confronting the university. I would like to say that my good friends, the SRC leadership, we appreciate their concerns, and we would like to appeal to them to calm down and talked to the general student body. They have come home, but there are a lot of being done to get them back on campus. They were supposed to write their mid-semester exams, I think the first week of November. Now they are out. They are not on campus now, and all these disruptions are going to affect their academic life. But we will be with them and chart a path that will bring a lasting solution to the problem that are confronting us at the moment. And we will plead with them not for us to get to the level we got to on yesterday. And we believe that most of their concerns could have come to us for maybe 1 or 2, 3 days discussion before they decided to embark on this demonstration. So we will urge them to really continue to talk to us whenever they have 1 or 2 problems that they are not getting solution from the management team of the university. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those comments. And I know, as an old student of KNUST, you're also from University Hall, Katanga, and I'm asking you this because I'm coming from the Vandal city as well, in Legon, and we have drumming and dancing and what people will popularly know as morale and charging. We understand that that's not something that the university management is too excited about, and it's one of the reasons. And this on a lighter note, because the way we react when we hear the drums. On a very light note, I'm not sure they are looking at you in your official capacity now. What would you say to them? Should they interrupt us? Should they prevent us from doing that?
Interesting. According to the university management team, they are not preventing the university from jamming on.
So we can still do some charging.
They are saying that there were excesses
as a result of the charging
at the university, or really wanted to.
Dr. Agbesi, I want to thank you very much. I think the point is well made. The program is State of Affairs here on GH1 Television. My name is Patrick Stevenson, and the program was ably brought to you by MTN everywhere you go. They make it possible for us to bring you this conversation every Tuesday and Thursday. Tonight, my guests were Dr. Agbesi and Mr. Frank Amwakohene, who is the president of the National Union of Ghana Students. And they helped us understand exactly what has been happening in the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Thank you for watching and equally contributing to the conversation. And I sat in for your regular host, Nana Abba Anamwa. Good evening.
There you go, MTN.